everybody. Mabuhay, and welcome to our second episode of Pride Talks with Khen. So, for today's episode, we will be talking about transgender visibility, living a fabulous life. And you know what? Transgender people, they are usually, they comes from different walks of life. They could be your parents, friends, siblings, or even coworkers. And to give you an overview, transgender is an umbrella term used for those people whose gender identity is different from their sex assigned at birth. And you know what? Trans community is a very diverse. And for us to fully understand about the trans community, we invited a special person. I met this person several occasions during my stint in the financial industry, and I would say that she is beautiful, she's very kind and genuine. She's a former lead of Pride at Work at Thomson Reuters. She's also a Soji speaker, an HIV advocate for Project Red Ribbon, and her advocacy is trans women are women. And we all know we have our pronouns, and her pronouns, of course, her, she, and hers because she's a woman. So let's all welcome Miss Carly Manayan.
Hi guys,
Hi.
hello. Hi Ken, hi
Hi,
Mars.
Mars. So, first of all, thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and welcome to the
Uh,
show.
thank you for having me. Thank you. Happy
So,
Pride, kahit
yes,
July
happy
na.
Pride, even though it's July, but every day is Pride. Yeah.
True.
So, kamusta ka naman?
Um, ito, galing ko lang sa mall. I'm so sorry for the late,
No, it's okay.
like 15 minutes. Sorry talaga. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm finally coping with the pandemic, with
Yeah.
the work from home, and even though it's parang it feels hopeless at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Pero we have to manage. Alam mo yun, like wala naman
Yes.
tayong choice. But yeah. Ikaw, how are you? How's your life?
So far, so good. So, I'm no longer in the financial industry, but I'm happy with my current organizations. So, yeah. And
Mm.
I'm grateful to my friends for establishing these initiatives. And we're so glad that ikaw mismo, you accept this invitation. And yeah, we're so grateful for that.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
Mars, I have prepared some questions to you. So basically, we wanted
Oh
to
my God.
know more about trans community and you as an advocate. I witnessed how you stand your ground and how passionate you are saying advocacy. Now, here's some of the personal questions kasi. So, are you ready?
Oh my God. Go. Let's take it up.
Okay. So, to begin with, so can you share your thoughts or your experiences the moment you first that you are in a different body? Different as to what you perceived, and what was the first thing that came into your mind?
Um, so back in the day, I just thought that I was gay.
Uh huh.
Hindi pa naman mainstream before yung idea of soji, of
Yes.
trans. Wala
Mm-hmm.
pa naman dati like 2005, 20 like oh nine, when I'm in high school, I just thought that I was gay, like
Yes.
normal kids dressing
Uh
up
huh.
like girls, you know what I mean? Until I realized I wasn't just dressing up like a girl.
Uh
I
huh.
really act and feel like I'm a girl. It was
Yes.
only until college that I knew about the term soji. I
Mm-hmm.
knew the term about trans, and that there are people like me na who don't just dress up, but they also really live as a girl.
Yes.
And it just felt right that it just felt right being a woman. I know
Correct.
it seems like like for other people, like like, so you really feel like a woman, you know what I mean? But for
Yes.
us, hindi siya maliit na bagay. It's a big thing to really know
Correct.
who you are. Because, other people, kahit nga 30s na sila, they still don't know who they are. They're still lost, either in
Yes.
career, either in identity. So,
Right,
so it's
right.
really valid to, it's really, I was really happy to know that I wasn't just gay. I'm a trans. I really want to become a woman. So yeah, that's when the moment I learned that I was really like born in a wrong body.
Yes, yes. And you looks beautiful.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, Mar.
And yeah, during those stages in your life when you dress up as a woman and you mentioned that it's feels so right. What are the were you able to experience discriminations or unnecessary words thrown at you during those times?
Of course, of course. Cause in high school I just started as gay. Short hair, like like Catholic school,
Ah,
wearing
okay.
Mars, wearing boy uniform. So it's like when I transferred to college, when I moved to college in
Uh-huh.
Manila, because I am from Mindanao, I went to
Ah,
UP, and so we don't have a dress code. So
yes.
that's when I really had the time to know myself. That like I said a while ago, I wasn't just gay. I really feel like I'm a woman. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was transitioning, made up, of course, I felt discrimination because like I don't look like a girl. You know what I mean? Kasi mahirap naman talaga. I think
Correct.
the hardest phase for a trans woman is um the transitioning.
Yes.
Kasi you don't wake up naman, like you don't take pills one night and
And
then you wake
overnight
up
na
being a girl.
mag-change na, di ba? Yes.
Exactly. So it takes time. It takes time. It takes a lot
Correct.
of, not to mention money. Actually, I've talked to other people also that being trans woman is also uh, um, a privilege. It's a social privilege because you know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky that I have
Mm-hmm.
money to spend on it, to spend to
Yes.
transition. And then how about others? You know what I mean? So
Correct.
it's also, I want to acknowledge that it is a privilege to be able to transition and look like a girl, while
Mm-hmm.
others, they feel like a woman, but they can't look like a woman because maybe of
Yes. And they
financial
can't really
conditions.
express themselves, right?
I know. And,
Mm-mm.
first thing about trans women to be able to fully express yourself, one big part of it is how you look like.
Yes.
So parang it's, again, I think it sounds shallow for other people to hear, but let's admit, like how you look like is also a factor of your confidence.
Correct. Correct.
Magka-pimple ka nga lang, 'di ba? Mag-acne ka lang, 'di ba? You don't have that confidence to even go out. You use
Yes.
concealer,
Yes.
you use makeup. So I don't want people
Mm-mm.
to think that it is shallow to, like, you know what I mean? Like what we go through is shallow because even people like, like having just acne, nahiya na nga silang umalis, like, 'di ba,
Correct.
like
Totoo.
cover pa. So how much more for us, that we don't
Correct.
look like girls when we feel like a girl. So marami akong discrimination, but I also understand where they're coming from
Mhm.
because, like I said, the term soji, even though it's 2021 now, I feel like soji, we're still in the early days of soji when people
Correct.
really
Madami pa din
understand
hindi alam.
exactly the point.
Mm-mm.
Like, even though we say it's 2021, Mars, I feel like we're still in the very early ages of, like, like
Yeah.
Soji, like, you know, people understand that there are people like us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, marami akong pagdaan ng discrimination, but I do also understand where they're coming from. And it's not something that we fight like in 1 year, 2 years.
Correct.
It's sad to hear, but I think it's a reality that I think we're still in the very early stages. But I'm happy with what we're doing. Us talking about it, you know what I mean? Your
Yes.
podcast,
Correct.
it's really a big thing to
Yep.
release it on social media. Most especially, people are home on social media, so it's a big thing to produce something like this so that for visibility, for transgender visibility and
Yes.
LGBT visibility. Ang dami
Yeah.
ko chinika, sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. And you know what? Sometimes kasi, um, in terms of not being seen, it talks about transgender visibility, not being seen in public. For example, you're wearing female clothes, you look like a woman, but people still recognize you as a man. That's
Yes.
a special kind of pain to you, right? So
True.
masakit yun.
That's
Kasi,
really, really
I'm already
true.
a woman, bakit tatawagan mo pa din akong sir?
Yes. Yes. My God, true. That's really true. And
Yes.
for other people, it's, I mean, straight people don't have to know these problems. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Correct.
You know, they don't, it's a simple thing to be called sir to them because they are straight. You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
simple for
yes.
them. But for us, it's really a big
It's a
deal.
big deal. Yes, I
It's a big
know.
deal. It's really a big deal. It's heartbreaking. And so kaya the fight for Soji or the fight for equality is starts with the heart. You know what I
Correct.
mean? Like just really compassion for other people that just because you're not hurt being
Mm-hmm.
called by the wrong pronoun doesn't mean other people are not hurt as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you
So
know what? Even though you guys are experiencing, or even not only trans, but of course the LGBT community, you should not be too harsh on yourself, right? You know, other people's impression does not change your reality. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Be gentle.
sure, sure.
And yeah, you mentioned about confidence. So how do you able to to build your confidence to be a better person? Because look at you, right? Look at you now. You're now a woman. You're working in a good organization. So building self confidence is not an easy process. Knowing that you experience a lot of hardships. So in different stages of transitioning. So paano mo siya na-develop?
Um, confidence. It's so cliche, no, na like people say like it comes from within, but it is true. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
it started with my first boyfriend, my first American boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
um, who was older than me. I was 17 back then. I wasn't a trans woman. I was like a effeminate gay. I was just an effeminate gay. So he was my first American boyfriend who was older than me, and um, I just learned so much wisdom because you know,
Mm-hmm.
like when you're young, it and then you go into a relationship as early as 17
Yes.
with a 30-year-old guy, an
Mm-hmm.
American guy who is established, who I didn't know back then was a manager for a
Wow.
healthcare for a healthcare telecom industry. I just didn't know because he didn't share it with me, but
Uh-huh.
he wanted to keep it low profile. But then I later on realized now, wow, big time pala to si Kuya. So parang it started there. I realized like, wow, an effeminate gay can have a boyfriend who is a manager in a healthcare telecom industry. An effeminate gay can have an American boyfriend. An effeminate gay can have this life because I'm not gonna lie, like when he
Uh-huh.
was my boyfriend, I had, like experiences like restaurants, like travels, like
Mm-hmm.
things I did not ask for, but like he was happy to share. And it really it really gave me a different perspective na like, wow, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, like I am gay, but I'm not just like what people think I am. Alam mo yun?
Yes.
Pwede pala ako magkaroon ng ganitong buhay. Pwede pala ako
And
magkaroon ng boyfriend
besides,
na,
it's not more on the gender identity. It's more on the feelings. Yun yung natapat talaga, yung
yes.
personality ng person. And it's a good thing that you met him. And
Yes, I am.
so
I'm
what's
really happy
the
I met.
greatest lesson you've learned from him?
Um, oh my God. Ang dami namin pinagdaanan, Mars. To think, nung tumakbo pa akong student council
Uh-huh.
candidate in UP, siya pa yung naging mentor ko, like, okay, you have to talk like this. Of course, Of course, like
Oh.
like he's we're talking in English, so parang like you have to answer this way when they ask you this, you have to answer this
Mm-hmm.
way. They're not actually like blah 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 and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so imagine to have that kind of relationship, mature relationship at the age of 17, 18, 19, because
Yes.
we were together for like 2 years. It really was an early gift for me, even though it was also my first painful heartbreak.
Oh.
But still, overall, even when I look back, it was really an early like confidence boost for me. And
Mm-hmm.
the best thing I learned is that to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to kasi successful siya, but he started as a poor boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned to be humble in a lot of ways. For example, even as a transgender, like I am lucky, like I told you, I'm lucky to have this to be able to transition, but I have to be
Yes.
humble because other transgender girls, transgender women, don't have the chance to transition. So I have to be humble in a lot of ways. And
Correct.
so, yeah, yun yung natutunan ko talaga. I'm really happy though. We are still friends right now. We still talk.
Oh, that's good. That's really good to know. So basically, he's one of your support system, right? During during those
Yes.
period.
I also want to mention na yung confidence ko rin was also from my role models back in UP. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
maraming transgender rin sa UP. And there we also have
Oh,
an LGBT community in UP. So
yes. Uh-huh.
I was really happy na you know there is academic freedom in UP. There
Correct.
are orgs, LGBT orgs. So I met them. I met my ates. I met my ate trans women also. Like they really made me feel like what I was feeling back then was normal. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? That
And
I
you are
wasn't being.
normal. Being a trans is normal.
Oh, thank you, Mars. So yeah, it's really. I feel like going looking back, I was
Mm-hmm.
really lucky with my first boyfriend, with the friends that I had in my college. Because if not for these people, Mars,
Yeah.
I would have locked myself in my room and like swallowing my own thoughts. Like,
Yes.
is this even valid? Like, is this even like do other people experience the same? So alam mo
Yes.
yun, like,
Correct.
I wouldn't have imagined my life hindi ko if they didn't happen to me. So I'm really thankful.
So that's good that you have a strong support system, like you have your colleagues. And
Mhm.
also, what was the turning point that you really wanted to transition? And how did your family accept it? Or is there a different reactions coming from them?
Um, Turning point. Um, I think it was also after the breakup
Ah.
because after the breakup, I it sounds like my life revolved around him before.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
it's true because after the breakup I felt like because I told you I was an effeminate gay before.
Yes, and who would
Yeah.
expect that someone as big as
Yes,
him to
true.
fall
I
in
know.
love with a
I
trans
know
woman?
with an effeminate gay before. So like
Yeah.
after the breakup, I it was painful because I thought like I thought I was lucky. I really thought I was lucky, but like you know nothing lasts forever, I guess. So
Yeah.
after the breakup, um I realized for my next relationship, I wasn't I want to go on dates and wear a dress.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go on dates and hold hands, wearing heels, wearing my bag, wearing makeup, like fixing my hair and makeup. Like
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Like, because after the breakup, I was in second year college, so parang I had a lot of time to think. Now, like
Mm-hmm.
how do I get back up? Like, because
Yes.
I thought it was it already. Like yun na yun. So parang the turning point was like he wasn't into trans women. He was into
Oh.
effeminate gay. Because I
Ah,
was effeminate gay
okay.
before.
Mm-hmm.
So the turning point was, I think, that we broke up. I think because Because for 2 years, I was really effeminate to a point that I was, I was starting to question myself if I'm really a woman. So I would start to do things to become like a woman. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he wasn't, you know what I mean? He wasn't really
Yes.
into that because he was into an effeminate game. But I was, like, I felt like I was a woman. So
Yes. And you
parang,
cannot force yourself to be someone that you are not.
exactly. So for him to see that, to see me
Mm-hmm.
like start my transitioning, I felt like he medyo, alam mo yun, hindi yan ang gustuhan, I think. So, kasi
Mm-mm.
gusto niya lang ng effeminate gay. He doesn't want long hair because I was starting to grow my hair. I
Okay.
was starting to wear
Mm-hmm.
blouse. I wasn't just starting t-shirt. I wasn't just wearing t-shirt. I was starting to wear blouse, shorts, because we don't have a dress code in UP. So
Yes.
parang hindi niya nagustuhan. So it was painful kasi I thought yun. I thought he loves me for me. But right now, I wouldn't blame him because it was his orientation. He's just attracted to effeminate gay. And when
Mm-hmm.
I was transitioning to trans woman, hindi na ako I wasn't attractive for him.
Yeah.
So the turning point was that, because like hindi lang effeminate, hindi lang gay ang gusto ko. I really wanted to be a woman
Yes.
at the cost of my relationship. So even though I wanted to stay with him, I can't be short hair. I
Yeah.
can't be forever wearing pants. I want to wear
Correct.
a dress. I want to have this hair. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was the turning point. Kasi parang I can't live a life now successful, a
Mm-hmm.
successful boyfriend, but like I want to be who I am. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
ayun,
Yes.
that was the turning point also.
And a good thing that you were able to pick up to pick up the pieces of yourself after those painful breakup and be the person you want to be.
True, true. It's people, sometimes people have to really pick themselves first before
Yes.
being truly happy. There is no other way around. I feel
Correct.
like if you don't settle with your truth, it's really hard to be happy because then hindi ikaw yon.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah,
totoo.
yeah.
So self-acceptance yung kailangan
True,
unahin, di ba?
true.
And thank you so much, Mars, for sharing your personal experiences and your
Okay.
journey towards
Same.
your transition stages and how you're able to become the person you are today. So now let's talk about your life in the corporate. It's a different story if you are in the corporate world, right? You need to be more
True,
formal and professional. So have you
true.
ever experienced, so when you're applying for a job, where you got offended by the interviewer or the receptionist? And how did you handle that awkward situations?
Um, so looking back when I was applying in 2016, 2016, I was already fully transitioned. I have long hair na.
Yeah.
Kasi I started transitioning second year college. So
Mm-hmm.
so after college, long hair na, like I really dress like a woman.
Yes.
Pero nung nag-a-apply ako, I was fully aware that I cannot wear a dress. I mean,
Uh-huh.
siguro wala namang rule for that, but
Mm-hmm.
like I wasn't confident na, you know what I mean, to wear a dress in their place, in their office, in their company. But if in UP or if outside, I would wear a dress, I would
Mm-hmm.
wear what I
Mm-hmm.
want. But in a corporate setting, I wasn't confident pa kasi I was a fresh grad. So what do I
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So wala, luckily wala naman akong experience na like harsh, but I would always get this reaction na parang when they would call my name, like for example in a recruitment hub,
Yeah.
and then marami kayong applicants, and
Correct.
then
Mm-hmm.
they would call your name, but they would also call you, your first name
Yeah.
with with a Mr. in it. So parang,
Mm-mm.
I mean, like, do I stand up? So parang ako like, oh my God. So hindi naman siya harsh, but I also understand where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
Yeah.
really wish na they would just call like the surname, like Manayan or like Balios. Ganun na lang sana. Hindi niyo yung tipo,
First name
alam,
basis, ano?
alam mo yun, Mars? Like, oh my God, do I even stand up? But I need this job, so I will stand up. So yun lang naman. Yun lang naman yung instance na I felt like, was like, oh my God, uncomfortable. Yun lang naman, luckily.
And I think siguro those times they're not really aware pa or they're not very yung
Exactly.
trainings about it. So
True,
definitely we
true.
can't blame them, but we can educate them
Yeah,
moving
true. Like
forward.
surname na lang. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Ganun na lang.
Well, that's good. At least in your end, some kasi di ba they're experiencing discrimination agad. So you're lucky to be part of that organization, you know.
Yeah. And it
And
actually
then,
also
yes,
helps. I'm sorry.
go Mars.
I just want to add like, kasi so after that incident na like marami talaga incident na tatawag akong like in my legal name, in my first
Mm-hmm.
name. And then but I'm also like lucky because they would always follow up when we're inside the booth now. They would always follow up like, I'm so sorry about that. Is there any name you want me to call you? And I'm really happy
Oh,
it happened. That happens after that kind of like incident. And I'm really
yes,
happy that happens because that shows me, that tells me that like they're open to transgender
yes,
people. It's also actually a test na people, you know what I mean, like how they treat you after learning you are transgender woman is a
correct.
test to their values, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just lucky na yung mga nangyari naman yun, they would always follow up like, oh my God, I'm sorry, like is there any name you want me to call you? And then I would tell them, you can call me Carly.
Oh, that's good, no? Kasi
Mm.
the moment that they approach you to say sorry and asking for the right pronouns to call you,
Sure.
parang the following day you can bring yourself fully na as a whole, as a
True.
woman na in that workplace.
Kasi nakakahiya, alam mo yun. But at least I'm happy that they would like,
And I
like
would
correct.
presume that is the organization you are in right now.
Yes, I'm happy they did that to me naman.
Wow, that's wonderful to know. So Mars, you know naman in today's generations, the LGBTQ community is now more visible and they can express themselves. What do you think we should do, especially the trans community, to be part of the executive committee in the corporate world? Or how to be more visible if we are already in that position?
Um,
So, paano natin yung trans community natin or those transgender women to become part of the executive committee? Of course, ando na din yung skills. But then again, there
True.
are some instances na it's really hard for them to level up on their career and to be in that position. And if you are in that position already, how you could maintain representation, not only for trans, but for the LGBTQ community.
um, I'm I'm lucky with my organization because I'm turning 5 years in September, and so
Wow.
far it has been very welcoming and very loving or very accepting rather. But I feel like for LGBT people in general,
Mhm.
I feel like for people like us, we need to work doubly harder compared to our straight
Oh,
friends. I
yes.
feel like I feel like opportunities don't come to us, so we need to look for it. Like
Mm-mm.
for example, if thinking about a person to handle a project, I don't think LGBT people will be the first people to come in mind. You know what I mean?
Ah,
So you always
yes,
have
yes, I got
you
your
always
point.
have to kasi 'di ba may image na ay baka the leaders would be like because a gay is handling this project. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So parang I feel like there's always that extra effort to
Yes,
excel, to
yes.
excel. And alam mo yung stereotype na basta bakla magaling. So parang parang laging may kailangang patunayan. You know what I
That's
mean?
the
So
sad
we
part,
always
ano.
true.
Even
So
though
we have
na
to
your work already give the answer to them. They look for something else pa.
Exactly. Parang dapat laging may extra something.
Yeah, dapat may X
You know
factor
what
pa
I
all the
mean?
time. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And what if like I'm a trans woman who's mahinhin, but I work on my own. I can deliver, but like what if, I'm not that extra? You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I feel like to be in the executive committee, it has to be more effort.
You need
There's
to earn the spot.
Yeah, true. I mean, people, siguro straight friends also, but for us, it feels like my extra, mas my extra pa. And then um, I feel like those LGBT people na successful in the workplace,
Mm-hmm.
pansin mo, they are the Bibo kids. They are the very active. If you
Mm-hmm.
see a gay manager, most likely they are active. Most likely they are Bibo. So that really kind of like parang reinforces the idea that you have to be extra. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So um I don't know. It's a sad reality to be in the executive committee and to be LGBT. Parang it's really hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
really hard. That's why so I guess the way to get there is to use the Pride networks.
Correct.
Um, Lucky for me, lucky for us, our organizations have pride networks, and then that's the place where we can excel. So I made sure that I wasn't just a lead. I
Mm-hmm.
made sure that I am seen. You know what I mean? Because that's my
Yes.
chance. You know what I mean? So when I was lead, we would always do something,
Mm-hmm.
even though
Mm-hmm.
it's just small. We would
Yes.
always organize something just for visibility that we're here. We would always
Yes.
as release a poster,
Yeah.
release an article, release something just to come up with something just to be seen. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct.
So I think Pride Networks is where LGBT people can start to
Yes.
show themselves, to put their feet forward para
Correct.
ma-recognize. So
Yes.
and um
And of
yeah,
course,
and
ally, probably ally would help us to step up in the corporate ladder by having a great support of ally, right? So they
that's
are
true. That's
also
true.
our
Um,
backbone in the work in the organization.
that's really true. And also, if you keep putting yourself forward, pero
Mm-hmm.
yung walang allies na managers, walang managers na who sympathize and who
Yes,
are
yes.
compassionate, wala rin talaga eh. But I'm just really lucky na in TR,
Mm-hmm.
hindi na, my leader, my manager is supportive. My manager's manager is supportive, and our site leader is supportive. So it also depends on the environment. Alam mo yun?
Correct,
It's
correct.
sad.
That's true.
It's sad because kailangan pa natin ng validation. You know, alam mo yun? So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really sad for LGBT people, but like, what can we do? Like, this is, we have to like show our worth, I guess. So yeah,
Yes. But right now, the efforts that the LGBTQ community is doing is already surpassing kung ano man yung ina-expect nila
true,
for LGBT. So we're
true.
not just only na taga-decorate, but we could level up
I
somehow
know,
at a
I
certain
know,
stage.
I
Yeah.
know, I
And you
know.
know what? Every time I read an article, usually your organization is one of the leading organizations in promoting a diverse and inclusive workspace to everyone, and provide a safe space to LGBT community, and they become the leader. You know, a lot of organizations base their putting their how to the perform their policies, they lobby it with your organizations, and you are so fortunate to have to be part of that organization, Mars. And I hope
Oh,
that some
thank you.
organizations would follow the
I
steps
know.
of
True,
TR.
true. Mm-mm. I think I would last 5 years, Mars, in this company if not for that.
Because you know what, sometimes it matters talaga yung organization din, di ba?
True,
To
true.
become, deliver you the quality of work na kailangan din.
Sure.
And I know you've been in the good company right now. So, is there what is the most challenging part being a transgender in the corporate world? I know that you're
Um,
in a good organizations, but in general, what do you think the challenges of the transgender in the corporate world?
First, I think yung legal documents. But
Ah,
I'm lucky for TR because I can use my preferred name in my email. So
that's good.
that's one thing because in my internship before,
Mm-hmm.
in a certain government institution, like that's really my legal name. But then I wasn't a trans woman before, so I wouldn't, hindi rin ako nag-ask about if I can change my preferred name, so I wouldn't blame them. But like for now, for TR, have my preferred name on my email, on our company's, because we have this like kind of like Facebook page. So I
Yeah.
have my preferred name there. But I think for other trans women in the corporate or in any work, I think that would be a problem. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy that they let me change my name. Second would be, you know what, Mars, I am lucky with my company because I would
Mm-hmm.
have gone as far as 5 years. But like,
Yeah.
the most challenge, hindi naman most challenging, but the challenge is that there is there is a slight prejudice
Yes.
even before you speak your mind. Alam mo yon, like you
Correct.
don't you don't know what it is that people think, but you feel it. That there is something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Even when you go
So
to the
parang
bath, to the female bathroom, you can't really
yes,
deny the fact na pagtitinginan ka talaga, di ba?
exactly. So parang hindi naman, if when I say I feel I'm happy with my org, it's not always like, like 100%. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there
yeah.
will always be a time that like there is something in the air that you're not feeling. So like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So um I guess you can, like I said, we're still in the very early days of Soji, so I guess you can't really expect 100%. But
Mm-hmm.
like
That's right.
compared to other companies, I'm really happy. But like in terms of that challenge, yun yung challenge ko, and so I'm like, I feel like you always have to offer more to the table. Like I said
Correct.
a while ago, like you always have to be extra,
Yes.
and
Also,
yeah,
another thing is the dress code. They can't usually express themselves at work. You know, they still
true, true.
um forced to wear male clothing, although they are a woman.
Yes, true. With me, I can wear my dress naman. I can wear
Mhm.
dress. I can wear my heels before, which now I can't because more than 1 year into pandemic, like
Yeah.
Mars, nandito na tayo sa bahay. So,
Totoo.
but like, I have a story about that actually. That's
Uh-huh.
it's funny because like in my internship days, um, um, like I was 2016 or
Mhm.
2015, I guess. So parang internship in a government agency. Um, I would wear I wouldn't wear manly clothes, but I would wear not a dress, so like a slacks
Uh-huh. Yes.
and a blouse, rather blouse. And my hair wasn't long, but it was like getting there. It was like not short also. So like
Mm-hmm.
I was growing it. So um I was going to the women's bathroom because like you know what I mean. That's you know what I
Correct.
mean. That's where I'm comfortable at. So
Yes.
until one day, um, I was called to a room, which is not normal. And then
Oh.
our head in the department
Mm-hmm.
told me that someone from the other unit, not from our unit, complained why I
Oh.
was going to the women's bathroom, and I was like, oh my god, like doon ko talaga naramdaman like, oh my gosh, I am really graduating and I would experience this after I graduate and work
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. You know what I mean? Because
Yes, yes.
internship na yun eh. So like graduating na. So like
Correct.
I had a glimpse of what was coming to me. So parang like, oh my God, Mars, tried so hard not to cry in front of our unit head because
Mm-hmm,
he was a
mm-hmm.
director. I mean, she was a director, she was an attorney. I don't want to cry. But Mars, when she said that to me, like, because she was also very compassionate. Alam mo yung kapag masyadong compassionate yung tao, mas lalo ka napapaiyak. Kasi ang
Yes.
sabi niya sa akin was like, are you okay? Like, is there something that we can do? Like, I know it was really wrong. So, parang ako, I was like, oh my God. I felt really like, even though I didn't know who complained, even
Mm-hmm.
though the our unit didn't know what happened,
Yeah.
felt to me like I was so exposed. It felt to me like, oh my God, like, nakakaya. Alam mo yun, like, like I didn't know what to do. That was my first real world experience not to go to the women's bathroom because I'm really, like I told you, I'm lucky that being UP, we have academic freedom. So parang I
Yeah.
can go to the women's bathroom and no one would judge me. But like that internship gave me the real life experience na, oh my gosh. You know
Ito
what
ba
I
talaga? Ito
mean?
ba talaga yung may experience ko once
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
So parang,
Pero,
ayun.
given that scenario, Mars, ano yung next step na ginawa nung boss mo or nung manager mo on that?
So ang ginawa nila, because I can't control naman my pee. Like I have to pee. So ang ginawa nila,
Yes, you need
Mars,
to speak. Kasi
nakakaiyak.
the moment na nag-silence ka, pero it's okay lang for them na to talk about you na and
Yes,
say
yes.
na hindi ka pwede dito if you can't speak kung ano talaga yung gusto mong sabihin.
Exactly. So I it was really nice of them, Mars, kasi ang ginawa nila, ang inoffer nila is kung if I wanted to go to the bathroom, sasamahan nila ako. Which was
Ah.
really nice kasi like like hindi nila sinabi sa akin na pumunta ka na ng the other bathroom.
Mm-mm.
From now on, you
Yeah.
need to go to the other bathroom. Hindi naman nila sinabi yun sa akin, which was really, I really appreciated from that unit. I really appreciate that unit. So, ang sinabi nila sa akin, so here's what we're gonna do. Samahan ka namin if you need to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
So, so I was like, mas lalo akong naiyak, no? Nung sinabi niya sa akin yun. So like,
Yes.
oh my God.
Because you're
So
getting
yun.
a support from
Exactly,
the manager.
exactly. So yun, I'm just grateful for from that unit. So,
Oh, that's wonderful to know. Although may negative or may hindi maganda sa umpisa. But it turns out na naging
yeah,
eye-opener din siya. And, maybe they could establish a policy to, to protect the LGBT and
LGBT
especially the
people.
transgender people to choose
Yeah,
the bathroom based on their gender
true.
identity.
Yeah, well, that was in 2016, so I hope it's a different story now,
Yes,
Mars, of
hopefully.
2021.
Correct. And now, Mars, there are a lot of organizations already established their policies and benefits
Mm.
towards the LGBTQ members. But what I have noticed, there are, or majority of the companies, or most of the companies, don't have the HMO benefits towards transgender persons. Example for this is the medical support during the transition years. Because first off, in order for you to undergo transition, there are a lot of stages and it's expensive, right? You would say that's very expensive. But we don't have that strong policy. Some of the companies don't have that strong policies for that. What do you think or yung kulang or ano pa nang kailangan gawin natin to push to have that benefits for the transgender people. Or maybe you could share the policies that you have in your organizations if they do have.
Um, so, you know, the medical industry is really hard to, like, it's
Mm-hmm.
really
Yeah,
hard
that's
to,
true.
it's one thing that's really hard for the LGBT people, most especially for trans. But
Correct.
well, I also want to mention that, but I just want to mention the insurance industry, because they allow same sex domestic partners to be
Yes.
beneficiaries. So that's one thing for the insurance industry. But for like medical industry, it's hard, Mars, because like, they really use biological your
Your sex
biological
assigned at birth
anatomy.
talaga,
Yes,
no? Mm-hmm.
exactly. So mahirap, Mars, like I understand where they're coming from as like scientific world, but like I hope that um because I heard in Thailand, Mars, they support their their
The
people.
trans
They
community.
give out, yes, they give
Ah,
out
okay.
hormonal pills talaga,
Uh-huh.
with
Mm-hmm.
consultation with doctors. So it's more open there in the medical field. So um and it's an Asian country also. It's our neighboring country. So
Mm-hmm.
like malay mo, like bakit sana dito din, alam mo yon.
Yes. And
Um
given it's a medical aspect, no? And to be a trans woman or to be a member of transgender community, it's also scientific.
True.
So
True. That's maraming trans women that self-medicate. I admit I really self-medicated before, kasi
mhm.
like I have no idea who to go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let alone talk to someone about who
Mm-hmm.
I am. So parang it's really hard. So parang I hope na parang there is a counseling session maybe in HMOs, like right now I know that
Mm,
like mental health sessions
I agree. I
is not
agree.
is not counted yet, but I'm not sure, Mars, but I feel like there is an offer since the pandemic started, may offer
Mm-hmm.
for mental health sessions, mental health calls. But in terms of like gender dysphoria sessions where
Uh-huh.
someone really needs, you really need help,
Mm-hmm.
professional help, you know what I mean? I hope
Kasi di
that
ba,
becomes
if going
available.
transitioning, it affects your mental
Your
health.
mental
If you
state
are
talaga,
really, oh,
Mars.
decided ka na ba? Wala nang balikan to. Di
Exactly.
ba?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And when you take the pills, Mars, I'm telling you, there's a lot that changes in terms of your your mood. Oh my god.
Yeah. Because
Your
there are may
mood,
side effects
Mars.
din yun.
Exactly. So hindi lang to, like, it's also dangerous. What if your
Correct.
employee is like
And I think yan yung isa sa mga bagay na hindi naiintindihan ng mga um, straight people, yung struggles for
Mhm.
first, of course, self-acceptance, and
True.
then yung process ng transitioning,
Right.
just very
True. That's
difficult
true.
talaga.
I know. So I hope also one thing is also I'm allowed to say this, like HIV testing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not available yet in my org. It's still something that we're battling. Like in my time as lead, we pushed for it, but it's somehow there is reservation among the
Correct.
leaders. So until
Well,
now we're still pushing for it. I
I think
hope I hope
the privacy, I think that's one of the things that they consider before
true.
putting that initiative in the organization.
Yes, yes. But I heard in other companies they have they have it in place, HIV
Yes.
testing, and then they're handing out contraceptives. So it's more
Mm-hmm.
open in terms of the idea of that kind of education. So we're pushing for it. So sana
Yes.
yeah.
Kaya nga. So we have at least we have a model company that we could follow. You
True,
know.
best practice.
Correct. And since you Mars, di ba, you've applied for a job before, no? And ano yung ma-advise mo dun sa mga transgender person who wanted to apply for a job? Ano kailangan nilang gawin? Like, if they already in the stage of transitioning, they're already wearing dresses. So pag-apply ba nila ng job, kailangan ba nila mag-change kung ano yung gusto tingin ng society sa kanila? Or go to to that organization, apply for a job based on your gender identity, or maybe they would change their name in their resume. What
Um,
can you advise to them?
I have thought about it actually, Mars, to change my name in my resume, and just like after that, I would just
Mm-hmm.
disclose that in the interview na hindi talaga yun yung real name ko and I am a trans. So that crossed my mind, but
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think it will do me more harm than good, because
Ah.
baka kasi isipin nila, oh, like, oh, she lied in her resume, so what else is she lying about? So that came to my mind, alam mo yon. So I think it will do
Mm-hmm.
me more harm than good. So I it's really sad. I hope in this country we can change our names.
Yes.
You
And
know,
I
after
think
being
ano no, one thing to note is that they need to research about the company. If that company is very welcoming with the transgender community and the LGBT community, they need to research it first, then
yes,
push with
yes.
the application.
Exactly. But like what I said earlier, I hope the HR is also like considering to just call surnames, you know,
Yes.
and hindi lang HR actually, even in the medical field, because more is like every time I go to the hospital to have a checkup, like APEs,
Mm-hmm.
Mars, they would always call like the full name. So like, oh my God, why stand up?
Oh,
So,
but you put your preferred name naman ba?
because on the record, because we have records, Marcel, and
Ah,
it's legal name. So parang if you give your ID, because we
you
have
may
IDs, diba, in the HMO, that's legal eh. So parang you have no choice. So parang, alam mo yun, like, baka siguro
mm,
like, you friends with the nurse, like, can you just call me Carly? So like, but like, so sana, like, they would just call your surname, you know what I
correct,
mean?
correct. Just to be
Ganun
on
na
the
lang sana.
neutral and be on the safe side na
Exactly.
din, ano.
So that applicants don't feel like, so that applicants can feel, like can perform their best, like
Correct,
in the
correct.
interview. Hindi yung tatawagin silang like their first name, and then in
Mm-hmm.
the interview wala na, nanlulumo na kasi like, oh my God,
Kasi
alam
syempre
mo yun,
there's a lot of applicants
napahiya.
din, di ba? Tatawagin ko your first.
Yes,
Pagtitiinan ka talaga. You can't
exactly,
avoid it.
exactly. So
Correct.
yeah, I don't, I'm not sure what's the rule, if I'm not sure if you can even change your name in your resume,
Mm-hmm.
but in the government, rather, in the PDS, personal data sheet,
Mm-hmm.
that's really your legal name. You don't have a choice. But what's good about it is that sa last page ng PDS, merong passport sized photo that is required to put to paste along with the PDS. So if you are fully transitioned, so parang,
Yes.
so with your name and your picture, so baka they will have an idea already. So baka in the private they can put their photo in the resume. I'm not
Or
sure. I haven't.
maybe or
I
maybe
didn't do
put
that.
something, a note on that please call me on my pronoun. Something like that, no?
Yeah, so
To add
siguro, or
up
like disclose in
information.
the, kasi 'di ba may
Correct.
summary in
Yes.
the first, like, so like, so maybe like a trans woman professional in the content industry, or
Yes.
whatever, keme so para may warning.
Correct, correct. So I think that's a good point na pwede nilang i-apply.
Sure.
Now then my next question would be Mars would be, as an advocate, how can you promote transgender visibility, not only in your organization, but of course in the society, coming from personal experiences?
Transgender visibility.
How can we promote
Um,
visibility of the transgender people in the corporate?
um, so in the corporate, before this pandemic, we would do Soji onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really nice because we get to do it. Not
Yes,
so,
yes.
'di ba, HR onboarding, sila HR and the
Correct.
policies. So at least with the SOG onboarding, we get to do it. The members can do it. Our gay members, our lesbian, our gay transgender members can do it. So that there's really LGBT visibility there. So that's really
Yes,
nice.
yes.
Also, but right now in the current setup in the work from home, kasi meron merong learning cohorts that's happening in the workplace. So
Mm-hmm.
basically may ginagawang company to gather people, and
Correct.
then they talk about something, like there's a book club session, there's a personal branding session, there's
Yeah.
a session on speaking circle, so whatever you join to. So I always make it sure that whatever I join, I always talk about pride, because these learning cohorts, you will always have the chance to share your whatever you want to share, and I always make sure that I share something about pride, just to,
Mm-hmm.
like, just to say that, the company, I mean, I'm here, the company has a transgender, you know what I
Yes.
mean. So in every little way, even before presentation to senior leaders, I would
Mm-hmm.
always, like, interject something about what we did with Pride, and
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
what kind of support Pride Network needs. You know
Correct.
what I mean? So in every little things, it doesn't need to be grand. You know what I
Correct,
mean? Like, it has
yes.
to be like small little details that's here and there to, like, make people aware that,
Right.
Pride. Yeah, we are here. So,
And of course, when you go outside telling about your friends, then about, you can share a little more, a little bit about Soji, di ba? Even in your
true.
friends or family, pero at least aware sila sa mga
Yes.
nangyayari.
I have a story about that, Mars. In
Yes.
terms of visibility, you you don't really know who you inspire, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I was at the vet because I have a puppy since the pandemic started. So
Yeah.
parang, kasi Mars, nakakalungkot. Alam mo yun? So I got a puppy, and then baby pa siya, nagka-parvo kasi siya. So I went,
Mm-hmm.
I brought her to the vet. Tapos isa sa mga nurses doon, I didn't know that he was gay, or he
Oh.
was a member of our community. So
Yes.
um nagka-parvo yung puppy ko. I was there every day because, like, I don't want my puppy to feel alone kasi bata pa siya, like wala pa siyang 1 year.
Yes,
So I
yes.
was there every day. So they know me. They I don't know if they know that I'm trans. I don't know. But maybe with my voice they already know, like, I don't know. So I was there every day for like 5 days. My dog was
Mm-hmm.
admitted. Tapos after that, so pabalik-balik ako
For
for
5 days.
monthly na lang.
Okay.
No, no, after siya na-admit,
Mm-mm.
yung shots na lang monthly. And then recently, itong shot na to, itong vaccine for my puppy, yung nurse na nag-assist nung may sakit yung puppy ko,
Mm-mm.
long hair na siya ngayon, Mars. Long hair na siya. So,
Oh.
she started talking to me. Sabi ko, sabi niya, like, ano pong gagawin sa aso? Like, shots lang. And then, oh, si Chubby po pa ito, yung nagka-parvo dati. And I couldn't remember, because I don't remember having a nurse attending to me who is long hair. Or like,
Oh.
alam mo yun, like, I know, like, you know what I mean? So parang ako, like, and then I realized he transitioned. So alam mo
Mm.
yon. So in terms of visibility, like, just being out there, being open, like being who you are, and people see you, you don't really know who you inspire, eh. So
Correct,
parang
correct.
ako, like, oh my God, because of, like, she saw me, she started to transition, and, like, Mars, long hair siya ngayon, and I'm really happy she's still in the job. Like, the knowing that it is the vet industry, science
Yes,
industry, they still
yes.
accepted her. Alam mo yun, like I was like, and nagchikahan kami konti na, alam mo, like, na-happy talaga ako sa'yo dati, like, ganito, ganyan. So, like, I didn't really know who I inspire, you know what I mean? So, just being
Yes.
out there, being, just posting on social media, like, being honest
Be
of who
true
you
to
are, your
yourself, no?
experience, or your experience. Someone out there is really inspired, and you don't know it, but
Correct,
someone is
correct.
inspired. So, yeah, na-happy ako noon. Like, oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And at least siguro na-feel niya din na being true to himself and accept who she is would
True.
bring din, kilala niya din kung ano talaga yung makikilala niya yung sarili niya mismo.
Exactly. And I hope she is happy. I think she's really happy because like nagchikahan talaga kami like, oh my God, like
Di ba? You gained new friend.
I know.
Ayun, Mar. So actually, we're done on our last four questions for you.
Sure, sure.
And this questions with your, what would be your advice to not only to transgender people, but of course to the member of the LGBT community who are still struggling with their gender identity,
Um,
especially the new generations. I know that most of them are very outrageous, very outgoing. So, what would be your advice to those, especially you know, some of them are also struggling to accept who they are.
um, I think you, lalo na ngayon sa setup natin
Yes.
that we're all at home, I think always seek a friend. You know, like I told you a while ago, I wouldn't be the way I am without my friends, without my first relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now, I would always advise to like seek a friend, seek
Correct.
a friend who understands what you're going through. I mean, you will always have these thoughts in your head, but do not let it consume you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really easy right now to be swallowed in your own thoughts. Kasi in
Yes.
Mars, like it's a very struggling situation. So
Yes.
I
Especially
really
the
advise.
anxiety,
I know, like,
anxiety attack
what's gonna
experience.
happen next? Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun, Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So, ang hirap. So, and, and you cannot, um, your doubts about yourself and being alone is not a good equation, Mars.
Yes, I
So,
agree.
so you, with your doubts, the only thing that can banish your doubts is someone to recognize you, to listen
Mm-hmm.
to you, to
Correct.
know that to know that someone is out there supporting you. It doesn't have to be like a lot of friends, but for sure there is one friend you can talk to, you can reach
Correct.
out to make your feelings known.
Yes,
Mahirap
that's right.
talaga yung ikim-kim, lalo ngayon na mahirap
Totoo.
magkita-kita. So I really hope they seek out when they start to be in that state na parang, oh my God, like it, like doubts, fears. When
Mm-hmm.
they feel, when they start to feel that, I hope they fight it and they seek a friend, they seek
Yes.
someone they can talk to
Find a
and
support.
say,
Find a
yes,
support
that's
system
true.
talaga.
True, true. For sure, there is someone out there. I mean, the thing with friends, medyo nahihiya rin tayo minsan sa friends din natin, like, kasi
Mm,
baka they wouldn't understand us.
correct.
Just find that one friend that, no judgments, just there to
Yes.
listen to you, just to, like, let your feelings be known and be heard.
That's right. That's right. And thank you, Mars, for sharing your experiences in the corporate world. Of course, how you're able to survive those challenges in your life as a transgender person in the corporate. So thank you so much for sharing. Now, you know what? I gathered a lot of the questions coming from the public or coming from, we asked random people about it or
Mm-hmm.
to ask, ano yung questions na pwede nilang itanong sa transgender.
Hi.
So, yung isa sa tanong nila na, yun nga, was there a time it crossed your mind to have a child? And if so, what method do you consider or will you consider?
um, Personally, Mars, kasi I
Mm-hmm.
have, I have my my older brothers and my older sister, they all have a family. So
Mm-hmm.
I know how much it takes to grow a child, how much it takes to like nurture a child.
Mm-hmm.
So parang ako, it's a personal decision that I don't want kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that people don't judge, alam mo yun, women for not wanting
Correct.
kids, because it's a choice. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
it's a choice.
yes.
But you know what's, to be honest, Mars, my current boyfriend now, he wants a cat. He wants a kid. So para
Oh.
he wants a kid. He wants his own son. So like, but he knows my position about it. Now
Mm-hmm.
I don't want kids. So like, how do we do this? So like, sabi niya, I don't know, like we parked the idea for now because like,
Mhm.
it's pandemic, but I don't know, in the future, maybe
It will
we'll
change your
consider when,
priority then.
yes, because right now my priority is career because I'm
Yes.
young. So maybe like maybe in 5 years down the road, maybe like we would
Correct.
consider surrogacy or adoption. But one thing is I'm afraid, Mars, is that what if my child hates me? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
may
madaming
worry na
factors,
gano'n.
ano.
So yeah, but we talked about it, that our feelings about it. So yeah, for now, wala muna. Like,
Alright. So that's good kasi you can't force din naman to have a child if you're not yet ready.
true, true, true.
Now, second question. Have you experienced getting jealous when your partner is with someone else? And if it's so, siselos ka sa lalaki or sa babae?
Well, trans women are women, so I would get jealous of a woman. But like, it's different if my boyfriend also wants a guy, because that
Mm-hmm.
means he's bi or
Yes.
he's queer or he's
Yes.
fluid. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's a different story kung ganun yung jowa ko.
Mm-hmm.
Pero we talked about it naman that he's attracted to women. So I would just get jealous of a woman. So yeah. But if he's bi, like it would be a different story more.
Yes, yes. That's
So
true.
yeah.
Now, we're down to our last question. In your
Okay.
relationship, how do you apprise or inform your partner about your gender identity and how he took it?
It's funny because as trans women, Mars, or at least in in my own personal experience, I don't disclose first because they ask first. They would
Oh.
always be the ones to ask, "Wait, are you trans?" You know what I mean? Maybe it, my voice, or maybe I wasn't really fully like I don't really look like 100% woman. Like I don't know what
Mm-hmm,
it
mm-hmm.
gave. You know what I mean? So parang hindi ako yung laging nag-open ng idea. It would always be them. They would always ask. So, and that's how it starts. And I would always be honest naman. Like I would say that,
Yes.
yeah, I'm a trans woman and blah blah blah. Yeah, so um it's but I also have experiences in the past where, for example, dating site where pictures lang naman kasi yun and the chat, di ba?
Correct.
Until you video call or meet. So
Yeah.
pictures lang siya. So may times na hindi ko sinasabi, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Until it gets too far, until you get attached, until you get like you really want to meet up.
Correct.
And then that's when I feel like, oh my god, ito na. So and then pag malapit na, like they really fall for you na, or for the chat and all that. Tapos sasabihin ko na I'm trans, they would like back out kasi like, you know what I mean, they don't like trans. So it for me, it's always better to disclose in the beginning or in the
Yes.
early stages of like getting to know each other than getting hurt in the process, in
At
the
least you
end
will
na
know talaga
parang
if he's sincere to know you more.
actually that's
Yeah.
really really true. And it's you know what puzzles me, Mars, yung mga westerners, they're more open to trans women than Asian men.
Ah, yes, I
I,
agree.
I'm not I'm not generalizing, baka may mga experience yung ibang trans
Mm-hmm,
women,
mm-hmm.
but for me personally, I don't have a hard time opening up to a
Yeah.
westerner than an Asian guy.
Well, maybe because they are
So
very open in the idea of dating a transgender
true,
woman in the first
true,
place.
which is really nice because if not for them, sino na lang jojowain So alam mo yun, like at least like they appreciate or like they accept
Yes.
trans women. Paano nila kung wala Mars? You know what I
Totoo.
mean?
So again, Mars, thank you again. So I think you've shared your experiences, and we know that being a transgender woman undergoing a transition, it's also a privilege because some they don't have the resources to buy medicine, consult a physician about this or you're transitioning, and thankful for giving us the glimpse of your life, um, about your journey. And yeah, and as a person working in the corporate world, you shared how supportive your organization. And thank you so much for this opportunity to know more about the trans community. And I hope that the fights of LGBT soon be recognized and we are be fully accepted in the society.
Thank you,
Any
Mars.
last words, Mars?
Thank you for this chance, Mars. Nung kinausap mo ako, I really was a go for it. And any chance that I can share my story to other people, it's not about me, like, like
Mm-hmm.
being a guest in, like, you know what I mean? It's really always about, like I said a while ago, like I don't know who I will inspire. So
Correct, correct.
I just need to be vocal, be open about my story,
Yes,
because
yes.
there will always be someone out there that needs to hear these words, that needs to be inspired. So whatever
Correct.
I can do to be open about my experience, I will always do it, just to help my sisters out there, and just to make them, like, to let them know that what they're going through
Yes.
is valid, that they are,
Yes.
like, that they are, that there will be people who will love them, there will be
Mm-hmm.
people who will accept them, and I hope, they, like I said a while ago, they seek a friend, and they
Correct.
don't, like entertain these thoughts that will consume them eventually, and just fight it, and just, like what, in the end, just shine bright like a diamond.
Yes, yes, absolutely, Mars. So, I hope naman na definitely there's someone out there talaga na makaka-inspire once na marinig yung story mo. And for sharing the experiences na you've been through. And, be a successful person ka ngayon because of your experience in the past na nag-mold you to be the better person kano ka ngayon.
True.
So thank you so
Thank
much,
you, Mar.
Mars. And I hope to see you soon. And hopefully we could
Yes,
join
true.
going
Face to
back
face.
to, yes, going back to normal. So thank you and keep
Thank you,
safe
Mars.
always. And hope
You
to
too.
see you
Bye
around.
bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to our second episode, Transgender Visibility, Living a Fabulous Life. Sometimes, not being seen when you're trying your best to be visible as yourself can be a special kind of pain. Some men and women are born in their bodies, others have to fight for it. So please, be gentle and kind to one another. To my brothers and sisters in trans community, try to be gentle in yourself and remind yourself that other people's impression does not change your reality. It's not the appearance that defines you, but your heart and soul is. Be sure to like, follow, and share our Facebook and IG page. And you can also listen to our prior episodes by subscribing in our social media account in Spotify and YouTube, Pride Talks with Ken. Thank you for watching and listening. See you in our next episode. And remember, your only responsibility with your gender presentation is to seek beauty and happiness within yourself.